The strategic partnership between Vietnam and Thailand has continuously developed in substance, comprehensiveness, and trust, said General Hoàng Xuân Chiến, Deputy Minister of National Defense. He made the statement at the 5th Vietnam-Thailand Defense Policy Dialogue in Hanoi.
The Defense Policy Dialogue was co-chaired by General Hoàng Xuân Chiến and General Sanichanok Sangkachantra, Permanent Secretary of Thailand's Ministry of National Defense. Deputy Minister Hoàng Xuân Chiến said, this year marked a special milestone when the two countries celebrated 10 years of establishing a strategic partnership. He affirmed that Vietnam's Ministry of National Defense always wanted to strengthen comprehensive cooperation with the Thai Ministry of National Defense and Royal Army, further promote bilateral defense relations. During the dialogue, the two sides shared their views on the region and the war situation. They highly appreciated the role of the region and the mechanisms led by the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, or ASEAN, and affirmed the joint efforts to make positive contributions to strengthen ASEAN's solidarity and central role in regional security.
A consultation workshop on accelerate sustainable development in Vietnam policy options was co-held by the United Nations Economic and Social Commission for Asia and the Pacific and the United Nations in Vietnam in collaboration with the Ministry of Planning and Investment in Hanoi on December the 14th.
Vietnam has achieved remarkable successes in promoting economic development, raising the living standards, and lifting millions of people out of poverty. Building on the achievements, the country is strongly committed to the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. Vietnam aspires to be a high-income country by 2045 and achieve net zero by 2050. Whereas Vietnam has made significant progress in various sustainable development goals, the country needs to expedite the implementation to bring all them back on track to achieve the 2030 targets.
I think first and foremost, urgency to take the necessary decisions that will allow us to reach the longer-term development goals. Right now, it's 2030 as the deadline, but also using the government's own timelines. Government had a vision of reaching high-income country by 2045 and the net zero targets by 2050. So there's that urgency to reach these goals now.
The consultation workshop aims to foster a better understanding of Vietnam's development challenges and opportunities and policy options to help Vietnam achieve sustainable development targets, improve awareness of the synergies and trade-off of the implementation of the selected policy options in accelerating the Sustainable Development Goals achievement, and strengthen the technical capacity of the government officials in conducting macroeconomic analysis that duly considers the economic, social, and environmental aspects of the development.
Regarding quarantine requirements placed on watermelon exported from Vietnam to China has been signed, paving the way for Vietnamese fresh watermelon to officially enter the lucrative market.
The protocol was signed by representatives of the Plant Protection Department under the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development and General Administration of Customs of China within the framework of Chinese Party General Secretary and President Xi Jinping's state visit to Vietnam. The protocol stipulates that fresh Vietnamese watermelon must comply with Chinese laws, regulations, and standards related to food hygiene and safety, as well as requirements placed on plant quarantine. The juicy fruit must not be contaminated with 5 Chinese plant quarantine subjects. Moreover, on-growing areas registered for export to China must build a quality management and traceability system, apply good agricultural practices.
The international terminal of Hanoi's Nội Bài Airport will be expanded in 2024, increasing its capacity to receive visitors from 10 million to 15 million a year, the Transport Ministry said.
In response to a National Assembly delegate on the fact that certain international airports are often congested, the Ministry of Transport said it would deploy certain projects in 2024 as a solution. Specifically, the T2 International Terminal will be expanded to increase their capacity by another 5 million visitors a year. The project is expected to be completed in 2026 and will increase the airport's total capacity to 30 million visitors a year. The general planning of the airport has been researched by the international consultant ADPI through funding sponsored by the French government and has so far been fundamentally completed.
The internationally acclaimed musical from the previous Broadway stage has been displayed at the Hanoi Opera House since early November. Based on the famous DreamWorks animated film, Shrek the Musical has a fantastic edge, lots of energy, and amazing characters.
This is the tale of an ogre, a talking donkey, a dwarf lord, and a cursed princess, rather than a charming prince or princess, fairies, or other mysterious beings. Although the beauty of the musical does not live up to the fairy tales we often hear, it nevertheless has many important lessons to teach.
When I heard that there was a Broadway play in Hanoi, both my family and I were very excited. I booked tickets from day one. I want my son to have access to new art from abroad.
Shrek the Musical is the second fairy tale musical to be performed in Vietnam. In 2022, the Universe also bought the rights and organized the performance of Alice in Wonderland, but in a form for students. As for the musical, the producer has to spend 5 times the royalties compared to Alice in Wonderland and bought it from Broadway.
Last year's Alice in Wonderland was just a school version, but this year, Shrek the Musical is a professional version, with full license, from stage, musical score, and everything. I think musicals in Vietnam are getting hotter, especially in big cities.
The number of actors and staff for this project almost reaches 300 people, and it aims to reach about 3,000 audiences, both directly and on platforms and social networks. The main goal of the project is to target young people and help young audiences pay more attention to and understand musicals.